So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand over now straight to you, Euten. So I'm going to introduce Euten Lindsay, our fusion cuisine Plymouth chef and businessman. So yeah, go take it away. What are you going to teach us today?
Okay, well, welcome and thank you all. I would say it's a real pleasure for me and a real honor to be part of the Devon Development Education and to be part of this amazing day and this amazing celebration of the Windrush legacy, of which I am proudly part of. And today, fusion cuisine, my word. I should firstly say, look, today, my business partner and I decided that it would be a fine day to actually launch our rum punch. It's the first of many flavors, and this is called Passion Paradise. And I will have a taste with you shortly because I want to touch on a subject of sugar, and just to give you a quick run through as to how sugar and this and me and Devon actually links together. So I'd love to taste it now, yeah? Do you mind if I have a taste just to let you know what it tastes like?
No, I think you absolutely should have a taste.
Okay. Well, here's a glass I prepared previously with a bit of ice and a slice of lime. Now, I will say Passion Paradise is now available in various sizes. And also, we do it in plastic as well as glass or bottles, okay? So not to worry there. And it is, I will say this, 25 years in the making. So it goes back to 1995, and finally, with the help of an amazing friend and a businessman, we've now made it a reality. So just to let you, again, look at this. It links back also with the history of slavery, and to realize that, guess what? In all things we do, you know, the love and the passion is foremost, and we must never give in. You have a dream, it can be real. All you got to do is just stick at it. And I would say the word is resilience, you know, and this is what the Windrush generation showed, was that their resilience for life, to live. Doesn't matter what comes your way, what hurdles, you will still stand up and be counted. So this is the Passion Paradise, which again would not be possible if it wasn't for my ancestors. So peace and love.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Blessed. I need to tell you about the sugar that's in here. Okay, but I think that will come.
We're going to get to that, but you need to start cooking, mate. Otherwise, we'll never get to the end of.
All right. Well, folks, today we have a sweet potato and callaloo stack or galette. Now, in a moment, I'll run you through the whole process, but I've got 3 pots here at this present moment. Now, the sweet potato galette is basically sweet potato that's been peeled and then thinly sliced, whether by a mandolin or a slice or in a food processor. Now, I'm going to get this on because I need my callaloo, which is going to be utilized as the filling for the sandwich. So olive oil, and if I'm correct, the recipe stated melted butter as well for those who actually prefer butter, but this is a vegan stroke vegetarian dish, no need for butter, okay? So in the saucepan here, you can just pour some onions in and turn up that fire. And the whole idea is to sweat the onions down until nice and soft and transparent. I will then add some peppers to that, some sweet peppers, and also some scallion, some garlic, some ginger, some thyme, and just to get this going. So in that, I will add, and all right, chefs, don't let me confuse you, but in this pot, this is going to be my pecan tomato sauce, yeah? So I've got some chopped onions in there. I'm adding a can of chopped tomatoes. And as I say, for those who's cooking along, is anyone cooking along with me at all?
I don't know. I think we need to ask people if they're cooking along. I definitely know a few people who said they were cooking along. So you might need to give us a little bit more instruction, like if you're chopping and they're chopping with you, what kind of chopping you're doing.
Okay.
Like,
So
little
let me.
slices or squares or what.
Okay. So imagine here we are, a roughly chopped, and I think all of this because the sauce again, I want a more of a rustic sauce, tomato sauce. Okay, so it's roughly chopped, and basically just running the knife through, and then just turn that round, and then you just look, just chop. So it's like fine, a bit rough dices, yeah. And as it look, it's already gone in there, but I'll just put a bit more in there just for you to see. And in this one here, the saucepan is the ingredients for the callaloo filling, and I'll get that going for you now. So in there.
And you said scallion. What's scallion?
Oh, scallion is it's Jamaican spring onions. Okay, and if you look, this is a scallion, yeah. So you can see, it looks just like a spring onion, but it has more flavor, I would say, much stronger flavor than our European spring onion.
And we've got Gillian is definitely cooking. They're doing all 3 recipes with you. So
okay,
you have got people cooking with you.
All right then. So imagine this now. We're doing the filling for the sauteed callaloo, yeah? So the scallion basically is just roughly chopped.
Roughly chopped, for me that would be cut it in 2, but obviously you've done more.
Well, no, okay, sorry.
No, that's good. And there's a question.
So if you look at this now, I could fine chop then, yeah? So you go just like that. And when we use the word roughly, it's because it's not uniformed. That's basically it. And we utilize the whole, every aspect of this spring onion, and there we go, it goes in. And I'm just waiting for that E to actually get hot, and then now I've cheated. I've got, well, basically minced ginger and minced garlic straight from the jar. As we say, the lazy man style. But I thought to myself, it would just ease the process, and you can do the same for yourself. Again, even the recipes are there. And you can add, if you want to increase the amount of garlic and ginger and the spices, it's all up to you. Same way with any recipe, basically, you can always play around. So as you can see, in here.
Great. So there's a question from Anna who's saying she's cooking and she's used, she ordered allspice, but it was replaced by jerk seasoning. Is it all right to use that? And is it very spicy because her children are eating it?
I would say, is it jerk seasoning dry?
Is it dry? I don't know. She can tell us in a minute. Yeah, she says, yeah, it is.
Okay, well, she can use it. I would say it will be spicy. And when I say spicy, yes, it has got chili in it already, yeah, but it will be flavorsome because it has the ingredients of the Jamaican allspice. Brilliant. So she can use it, but I'll say go very gently with it, yeah?
Awesome. What I always suggest is that you take a tiny bit of spice on your finger and just taste it, because then you know how hot it is, and then you can adjust what you want to put in.
Exactly, and it's because everyone's tolerance for chili does vary. So as we can see right here now, I don't know if you can see, but a bit of steam coming from the tomatoes, yeah. And it's a simple, you've got the onions in there, you've got the garlic, you've got some ginger and the tomatoes. In here now, as you can, this one at the front, this is for the sauteed callaloo. And I will now show you how to quickly cook rice and peas with ease. Let me see what I can do.
So that's a really, like ackee and saltfish. Rice and peas is again a real kind of national dish, isn't it?
Yes. Again, this okay. What I'm doing now, this is the traditional sort of Jamaican rice and peas. Yeah, I'm using gungo peas, also known as pigeon peas.
Oh yeah.
And you can buy it sort of pre-boiled, which this one is pre-boiled. Don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can get this, or you can get the dry one and basically just soak it overnight and then cook it next day. It will take possibly like an hour. That's the only thing. It takes a long time, but when it's done, it's perfect. Now, the proportion for my rice and peas, it's simple. I'm going to use just the 1 tin of gunga peas and 1 tin of coconut milk.
Okay, beautiful.
Now, I grew up using coconut cream, which is slightly different. This is this one. Okay, it gets in a pack and it's very concentrate, So what I'm going to do instead is to use the coconut milk, and I'm using a ratio of 2 to 1. So for every, say, cup of rice, I would be adding 2 cups of water. So we've got 1 can or tin of gunga peas, 1 tin of coconut milk, and water. That's 1, and that's 2. Now, with that amount of water, I know, that I would then be using 2 of these, 2 cans or 2 tins of rice, okay? And I'll show you that measurement shortly.
Great.
Now,
so can we just pause a moment? So in that pan, you had the onions frying?
Yes, indeed.
And that was your galette mixture?
Yes, this is the galette mixture, which I will come back to in a moment, just trying to get this on, because that's very important. That's the rice and peas.
Yeah. So Rose is asking, she couldn't get any gungo peas, so could she substitute? What would you substitute?
Yes. Well, substitute that with red kidney beans, black-eyed beans, or peas.
Nice.
Even cannellini. Again, it's up to you,
Okay, lovely. I know you can get Indian chickpeas as well that are quite similar.
Yeah. But
dark, they're a bit quite similar to gungo peas.
Well, yeah, but it would be slightly, because of the texture of chickpeas, it would be slightly different. It still works, you get me, but slightly different.
So we got another comment from Sue Iwias. I'm really sorry if I'm not saying your surname properly. And she's saying she's drooling now, getting emotional thinking about her granny's backyard callaloo. Oh.
All right, well, let me help you. So So going back to the rice and peas, there is basically 1 tin of gunga peas, 1 tin of coconut milk, 2 tins of water, which equates to 800 ml, basically, if I'm correct, but the recipe is there. And I've also added some Jamaican allspice. Now I've used the actual whole one. And again, Dunn's River, produced by Dunn's River, and there's also tropical sun and so forth. And this is what it looks like. But you can see, I don't know if can you see those? Look like berries?
Yeah, it's tricky to see.
Okay. Well, basically, it looks like similar to like juniper berries,
Okay,
but it has the flavors of nutmeg, mace. It's got that cinnamon. It's got that clovey. That sort of Christmassy flavor, and that's what you get from pimento. So now I've got that on there. I'm going to bring that basically to the boil. I will add and this is our style. The scallion for the rice and peas, you don't even need to chop it, It's all about just flavor. So just use the back of the knife and just squash him up, Just lick him a few times, and there you go, in it goes. I've also added some fresh thyme, which I've picked and washed, and there it goes. I don't want to put too much salt in, so what I'll do is I'll allow it to come to the boil, then I'll taste, and then I'll just add a small amount there, just to bring the flavors together. So this is the one I want to get going. Oven is on. Now, that's the only thing. Sometimes I don't like electric because you seem have to wait a wee bit longer just for it to get
it's
hot.
slower, isn't it? It's a bit slower.
Yeah.
So
But
your sauce at the back is just cooking along, right? It's just simmering along, the piquant sauce.
yes, indeed, yes.
Just gently
So
simmering.
yeah, so you see there, look, some spring onions goes into that. I'm also
Yeah.
going to add a bit of mixed peppers, the sweet
Beautiful.
peppers, just to
Yeah.
add flavor, yeah?
Yeah, lovely.
And at the same time, you're adding flavor, and you also, it's nutrients. And yeah, you're giving your food, you know, I mean, flavor, and which then is going to give your belly flavor and nutrients.
Right. I think you should have another sip of your rum punch.
You know what? Don't worry, that's going to happen very shortly.
So there was a question earlier, Euten, where do people get the rum punch from?
Okay, what I'll say is to, at this moment, go to my Facebook Fusion Cuisine page or my Instagram, and or just send me an email, and then we will sort it that way. What we aim to do is to actually have it being distributed via Amazon and Ocado, and of course via various different sort of outlets, bars, and other places where you can get your, you know, I mean, beverages. So very soon it will be everywhere. Well, keep the fingers crossed. I'm going to take it, yeah, man. Take up that plan of yours.
Yeah, I think that's fabulous. I think we should use this session to do shameless promotion.
Oh, thank you. That sounds good.
When I'm coming to the end of this session, I'm going to go and get mine from the fridge. Fridge.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to sprinkle some ground Jamaican allspice, yeah, into this mix as well. Just to add again, just more flavors. Let's not want a lot. Then I've got my spring onions in there. I want to add some fresh thyme. And that's another thing, because I think over the centuries, man has moved away from his natural, you could say, habitat in his natural foods. We're brought up to use herbs and spices. Why? Again, it's the nutrients that's in there, you know, which help our body builds up various protection and enzymes, which is required. And it's so funny that we tend to sort of lose ourselves and no longer eat healthy foods.
Okay, great. So I got a couple of questions for you. One is, Euten, what's your Instagram account so people can find it? What we'll do is we'll find it and put it in the chat box. What's
Good question. I don't even think I know my Instagram account, yeah? What I'll say is Fusion Cuisine or Euten Lindsay, yeah?
Yeah, and you've got a Facebook page as well.
Yes, indeed. So Facebook is Fusion Cuisine, or you can also get my personal page, which is Euten E. Lindsay.
Brilliant. So, and then someone else who's lost a little bit of track just said, could you just go over what you've got in each pot again?
I will do. Okay, frying pan at the front is the saute callaloo. As you can see, I'm just about to open up this can of callaloo, which is usually, you can get it fresh, but it tends to come straight from Jamaica tinned, which then makes it easy. And it's as simple as this. Look, it's drained. So you've got the onions, you've got your peppers, you've got the garlic, you've got the ginger, thyme. And here we go. It's similar to spinach.
Beautiful. Is it more earthy? What, could you?
Yes, it is. It's earthy. It's very earthy, very nutritious, and you can see it is very much like spinach. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. And also, like sometimes other, like the leaves of the taro. Yeah, the taro plant is also used in the same way.
Great. So Faith said she found you, and on Instagram you're just Euten E. Lindsay. So we found you.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I know, it sounds bad, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, this is our Scotch bonnet, yeah? I'm going to add one of this to the rice and peas, okay?
Mm.
And you don't break it, you just leave it whole, because all you want is to extract the flavors of it, yeah? Now, here I'm gonna chop some of that same Scotch bonnet, and that is going into the callaloo, yeah? And it's just like that. The tomato sauce will get some, but I won't do that yet. Now, ladies, and gents, you can see me, yeah?
Yeah, we can definitely see you, no problem.
Okay, so here we have sweet potato.
There's been a lot of questions about what we do with the sweet potato. People were getting a bit like,
what do we do with it, yeah?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. What I've done with the sweet potato, here we have a whole sweet potato. And it's simple. You can use a mandolin or a slicer. Or if you're like me, you can just use a knife just like this and just slice it nice and thin. I like to say making slivers. I think the rump get into my tongue now, yeah? And then what I've used here is olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and black pepper, just to season it up, and some sea salt. And I'll show you. Look, get sea salt, fine sea salt. Now, in this container, this oven baking dish, I will layer, and with this, the first layer doesn't need to be uniform at all. Basically, just want to cover the bottom. So I've lightly greased it with the olive oil, and then I will just scatter it on the bottom. And one of the, again, chef's trick really, you're not going to see the bottom really, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like, as long as you've got a nice base.
So those are thin slices of sweet potato, and you're layering the bottom of your dish to
indeed,
like the first layer.
Yeah. Okay. So now I equate the thickness of the layer to at least four layers of sweet potato. Okay.
And have you done? What did you just do? You salted them and you oiled them.
Oops.
Did you oil them?
Yes, indeed. So I did sorry, what I did, sliced, it's sliced into my bowl, salt and pepper, olive oil.
Brilliant.
Or for those using butter, then it will be melted butter. And the whole idea of that is to help it to stick together. That's the main thing. That's what the butter's there for. Okay, so here we go. I can turn that down for a moment, which I have. And then here we have, so I'm just going to do the one layer at the bottom, well, say the four sort of layers here, but just into one, and then just.
So there's
sorry?
There's a comment from someone saying your sweet potatoes are very pink, mine are white.
It depends on the variety of sweet potato, my dear.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So then imagine, here we have our callaloo, sauteed callaloo, yeah? Now, it's a simple, usually I would have used it when it's cooled, yeah? But I thought it's best just to show you texture and consistency that we're dealing with. Sorry, I'll just leave that there for a moment. And then look at that. And honestly, I know you can't smell it, but I can, and it really does smell nice. That's
funny because someone just asked that. Rose just said, "Where's the button for the smell-o-vision?" Ha ha
ha. Just say it smells delicious.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. And you can see. So you just put it in, just like that. And what I'll do. Now, the aim of this, though, when you do that, is to then just push it down, yeah? Press it, basically press it down.
Yeah.
And then your next layer goes on. So now I'll just show you, it goes like that. You just spread them out. And just spread it right out, just like that.
So a galette is really like a pie, isn't it? It's like a top and a bottom and a filling, but we're doing it all with veg, right?
Yes. It's just well, it's a French term, yeah. And a galette can be so many different things. You get me? It all depends on what it is.
Okay.
So yes, it's like a pie or a stack, yeah.
Stack, yeah, brilliant. There was another question, Euten, about can you overcook callaloo?
Well, yes, you can. Of course, you can. I would say, just like people overcook a lot of vegetables, especially green vegetables, broccoli. A lot of people, they leave it in there for hours. Yeah. All they need to do is basically look, because the callaloo is already boiled. It's been cooked already, so you don't need long. And as I say, it's like spinach. So you just treat it like spinach. Just a couple of minutes, and that's done. I'm not. I do not like overcooked food. That is me simple, especially vegetables. I mean, you get broccoli that's been sitting in water for even half an hour. It's too long.
Yeah, it loses nutrition, doesn't it? So I got some more comments. Angela's saying that she's growing callaloo on her allotment.
Yes.
She's
yes,
saying, she's asking, would you steam it? Would you?
I would say no. You know what? I like it saute. Yeah. So there's a quick fry. That's basic. Basically. Again, you can steam it, but I think that it lends itself perfectly to the saute. Just like if you got spinach, bam, 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 and done. Yeah. Hot frying pan.
Okay, so you're still layering up. You're layering up your galette.
Yes, indeed. Cool. Now, when you get to the top layer, is when you worry about how it looks. Yeah, because you're then considering your presentation. Yeah. So you get the really nice, nice slices like these ones, and you just make it look nice. And then what I will do, get them into that oven so that it cooks. I'm the one who's going to taste it, and I don't want to eat any uncooked food. And as I say, again, even this amazing potato, the sweet potato, again, is so nutritious, and there are so many different varieties as well. I do prefer this sort of African and Caribbean sweet potato more so than what I would say the Israeli one, very sort of watery, which is these types, yeah. But again, it's good for this dish I'm doing as well.
Brilliant. We've got Stanislas with us today as well. Hi, Stan. Really lovely to know that you're here. And Stan is saying that most of us West Indians use the white sweet potato.
Yes.
Has better flavor and stays firm when you're cooking.
Yeah, man. Its texture is it has more a tuberous sort of texture, like a yam, more like a yam, yeah.
So basically, saying is there's many different varieties, right, of sweet potato.
Yes, and colors as well, because as you mentioned, the white ones, there's the red ones as well, and the sort of yellowy ones, yeah. So it all depends.
I know we used to have like purple sweet potatoes as well.
Yes,
like dark purples, and then they're all different shapes as well.
You know, and I don't know if you corker, you come across corker.
No.
Oh, corker, it is similar to a taro, but it's very small. But again, it's dense, very dense, yeah. But nice, and some of them they've got many varieties as well, where they're like potato. It's very much like a potato as well, but very nutritious.
Okay, so now, sorry, you carry on.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
so what I'm using is just a simple piece of greaseproof, yeah, aluminium foil, just lightly oiled, and then cover. And usually what we do is, aluminum foil, we usually put a greaseproof paper, yeah, on top, just prevent the aluminium sticking to it. But as I said, you lightly grease it and you should be all right. And then that goes into the oven. Now I said 45 minutes and I think I'm running behind, but I would like to...
Shall I give you a time check?
Yes, please.
So it's 4:24, and I wanted to ask you a question in a minute, but there was one more thing in the chat box. So, in terms of taking recipes abroad. Obviously, we can find these ingredients here in this country, but
Yeah.
if you did wanna think, like one of the things I'm really into is sustainable food. So like buying locally and buying what's in
Yeah.
season. So like Angela's obviously growing her own callaloo, but someone's asked a question, what about like doing a mix with Irish potatoes? So using different, different kinds
Yes.
of potatoes.
You can mix and blend. Again, it all, it's like certain, it depends on the dish you're doing. And again, it depends on you. What do you want to get me? As I say, it's a fusion. So certain things will fuse together and certain things won't. Or it's about,
Yeah,
yeah. So yes, you can do whatever.
right. Lovely. So what's going on? Your sauce is still simmering away in the back?
Yes, indeed. So that's all good. Okay, what we'll
Right.
do is, remember, it's a fresh tomato sauce, yeah?
Yeah, beautiful.
And have a look at this now. So you can see,
You need to go back a bit.
okay, sorry, look at that. So you got the fresh tomato, as I say, roughly chopped,
Yeah,
with the sweet peppers, garlic, some ginger in there, and some thyme. And
great.
just allow it. Look, I didn't put any water in there, but in a moment you'll see me do something which again is very, let's see.
Beautiful. Euten got a really important question.
Mhm.
We forgot to tell people how long in the oven and what temperature.
Okay, please, if have a look on the recipe. I've gone for at this moment, I'm on 5, yeah. So electric hob. So I'm on
Yeah,
5 electric at this moment.
brilliant.
Okay, but we're looking at 45 minutes that dish will take to cook, yeah.
Amazing. What would that be if it was a gas cooker?
Then I would say, please Google at this moment. Yeah. Sorry, I can't even, my notes are somewhere around there.
No, don't worry, don't worry. I'm wondering if the tech team could convert gas mark 5 to temperature, please, for us in
I
gas.
think it's on the recipe. I did put it on the recipe, I'm sure,
Oh, hang
yeah?
on, then I've got the recipe. That's cool. I'll find
Yeah.
it. And what you're making, all your dishes are for 4 people, right? So people can scale it down.
Well, it could be, yes, approximately 4.
Yeah, it says 180. Thank you, Viv. It
Yeah.
says
So that goes there. And then,
150.
let me see, where did I put my tin? Where did I put my tin? All right. So, if I don't get this on, there'll be no rice and peas.
Ah, then you'd be in trouble, man.
Exactly. And sorry, what's the time, did you say?
Yeah, right now we got 4:27, so we got until 4:50.
Okay.
So, we know it's not going to all be cooked. Like, we know.
But we'll say this.
Okay,
Have
that's
a look here now. You wait and see. So, the one, and I've gone for brown rice, yeah, rather than, again, as I say, what you put in your body is important, yeah. So I've gone for brown rice, which is more healthier than the white or bleached rices, yeah, not good. And then the simple, just give your rice a good rinse. Good rinse. I remember my first experience of cooking rice and peas. My mom left me the job of cooking rice and peas and told me, don't burn it. And I won't lie to you, it did burn. It was like rice pudding as well, but it was a lesson that I never forgot, that I really burn rice now. So it was one to remember.
How old were you?
I would say I was probably around 11, 12. If
Oh,
not,
wow.
it could have been early as well, because my mom was a real stickler for that. Men, children should know if it cook and know if it wash and to keep a house, yeah? That they would not be dependent on any woman. That was my mom's idea, okay? And I would say you know what? It's good. You've got to teach your children. You definitely need to.
I'm also really impressed how you're keeping your kitchen clean while you're cooking. That's cool.
Have you
So,
noticed?
yeah, yeah. It would be good if we cooked together. We wouldn't argue because that's one of the things that really bugs me when people don't clean up after themselves while they're
Well,
cooking.
this is one of the, again, catering college teaches you, yeah, to clean as you go, because you never know when you're going to need the space, and also even possibly you might be watched. You get me, whether it's a kitchen inspector or just someone who actually cares about food hygiene. So it's always important. Clean as you go. It then means that you always have a space. Yeah, that's it. You've got a space.
Yeah.
That is always clean.
Gotta have space. So
Yeah.
Anna's saying her kids 3 and 6 are helping her, and she's
gonna well done. Peace and love. Blessed.
What are
that
their
is
names,
nice.
Anna?
Sorry?
I
didn't
I'm
hear
just
that. Sorry.
asking Anna what their names are.
Okay.
So, can we talk about another thing? Have you got a breath to talk about something else?
Well, funny enough, look like I'm a bit surprised. Yeah, it's like I'm ahead of schedule. So
that's
okay,
good. We like
let's
that.
see.
We like that.
All right, one second. Let me just bum, 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 bum. I'm always getting confused with these. Okay, so now rice and peas. I've turned it really right down.
Okay.
And let's see, which one is this? Which one is this?
And do you leave the lid on? I notice you leave the pan lid on on the rice when it's cooking.
Yeah, man. So, because what I'm gonna do, it was boiling, bubbling away.
Yeah.
So I'm allowing it to come back up to the boiling temperature. It builds up. The pressure inside is gonna be built up and becomes like a vacuum at the same time. And boom, the water is going to be absorbed by the rice, and hopefully it shouldn't burn either.
Great. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question then. I think you should take another sip of your rum punch. And I know that in that cheers. So thank you so much, Euten. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
So we've got let's have a question. So I know that in that rum punch, obviously you got water, you got rum, and you got passion fruit because it's passion fruit, but you've also got a vital ingredient called sugar. So
yes.
If you wanted to tell us that, because you mentioned it right at the beginning, and tell us about.
And if I will actually and say this, the only water that's in this cocktail is from the fruits itself. Yeah. Okay. So there's no, natural water. It's all natural from the juices rather than added water. Okay, folks. Imagine sugar. Now, if I was to say, I'll just bring these here, just so because what we have here is a jaggery gore, which is an Indian version, yeah. And this is unrefined sugar, which comes from the sugar cane. Now, then we have also this, which is a brown demerara. It's a soft version. And we then have this one, which is refined. And basically, look at that. Am I correct? Tate and Lyle, all right?
Oh, yeah, juicy.
Tate and Lyle.
Juicy.
Now, it so happens that sugar, which is over 2,500 years ago, the Polynesian, brought sugar to the palate. It so happens then that Darius, the Persian king or emperor, king I should say, he invaded India and then took it to the Mediterranean and the Middle East. Now, in the 16th century, Great Britain became or was on its journey to becoming a great nation. What was missing? They needed money. And it so happens that sugarcane was deemed to be that commodity. Now, in the Americas, and we're now going to South America, with the places like Brazil, where the Portuguese and the Spanish, they were doing really well and making so much money, gold, and of course, sugar. Now, the British colonists and realized that they needed money so that they could actually push the the Industrial Revolution was about to begin. They needed money, and due to the islands in the Caribbean, such as Jamaica and a few others, sugar cane was grown, and slaves from Africa, or should I say, no, Africans, were taken, sold as slaves in America and also the Caribbean to work the plantations. And it so happens that, if yes, I'm correct, sugar became known as white gold. And again, this was the link. A clever individual realized that he could basically use sugar beet, which is a white beet, and crystallize it to mimic sugar cane. Hence, it's easy to get sugar. And you then added I would say, with the slave trade increasing, and they're realizing that they needed more bodies. Why? Sugar cane is a delicate product. I know it is tough, but it needs, the soil has to be well prepared. And you'll be looking at slaves working 10 to 12 hours in the field each day, 6 days a week, to produce sugar. Now, Britain at one stage was actually amassing 1 million tons of sugar. Can you believe that amount? 1 million tons. And all through the backs of slaves. America, basically America gained its independence through slavery. And again, sugar was that commodity that gave them so much money that they were able to say bye-bye to their motherland. And it's really touching to know that, again, even though my background is that of a Jamaican whose ancestors were slaves, we didn't give in. And I remember myself as a child seeing the plantations. I remember going there with a cutlass before I was even 9, chopping sugar cane and planting it as well as a child, and enjoying it. Why? I was loving the taste of the sugar cane, and I think that's why I have got this. I love sugar, but I would say avoid the white sugar. Go for the dark Demerara, or more like the Jaggery, okay?
Yeah, and I guess the raw form has got more nutrition in it, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yes.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if I could just bring a little bit of Devon connection, because obviously, we had connections with slavery all over this country, right? So we've got money that was made from some of those goods that were traded. So it would have been people, we would have been taking wool over to the different places. So obviously most people might have heard of John Hawkins now, who started the transatlantic slave trade. But I know that like in Topsham, where Des is, tropical Topsham, there's a place called the Retreat, where I think the sugar used to be, there was a sugar finery up there. So in the plantations from South Carolina and Barbados, they used to bring sugar from there to the Retreat in Topsham, up that way through the estuary. And then I know also there were sugar processing factories in Exeter at the Bishop's Palace. So we're talking 1650s, you know, and in Goldsmith Street as well. And there are families, aren't they, linked? You know, I'll just name a few of them: the Barings family, the Praed family, so that lovely hotel that burnt down, the Royal Clarence Hotel in Exeter.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, it used to be, in 1769, it was a bank. It was called the Exeter Bank. And they had many plantations and slaves. So there is direct, and these are just few examples, you know,
Yes.
of direct links with us in Devon and slavery. And obviously sugar would have been one of the commodities that people would have traded, right?
And definitely. And again, I think it's important, the triangle, yeah? Because you had sugar, which was coming from the West Indies or the Americas, yeah? And then from, say, when the ship arrived to the UK, which was either Bristol, then in the early days it was Bristol, yes, they would drop off this amazing sugar, this white gold, and then they would take pots, and because there was this demand for pots in Africa, so most of the this is what they were bartering, or even they would sell, I mean, copper pots to the Africans for their slaves, okay? And then so all of a sudden the pots arrived to Africa, which is the second, which is okay, say the second commodity, and then it leaves with slaves to either the Americas or to the Caribbean, and then cotton and so forth. But sugar, you know, and this is again, it was about feeding the elite in Europe and the UK. So the poor person really couldn't even afford sugar, you know.
So it was a really expensive commodity, basically.
Yes, and as I say, for the elite,
Brilliant. So it's 4:41. Let's go back to our cooking. How are we doing?
Okay. Well, it is coming on. Well, it's gonna be let's see now, because I can see. Look.
Amazing. So your piquant sauce is still simmering? It's been simmering all this time, has it?
Yes, indeed. Because
okay. And your galette, your spinach and callaloo galette is just cooking gently, it's cooking away.
I'll show you that, because that's also.
Oh my God, you're picking up without oven pads?
No. I've got. So you can see it still needs a bit more time, but I don't. You can see it's actually bubbling up now. Yeah, so it's not far to go.
Brilliant. So I just want you to, just for a moment, and your rice is good at the back, because then I want to do a couple of things with you.
Well, as you can see, I would say the rice has got probably another 10 minutes, before it's ready. Just reducing the liquid.
First, sorry? I want you to do a little shout out, because we got some kids. So we got Lorraine's kids, Danny and Ben, if you want to say hi to them.
Okay. Darren and?
Danny and Ben.
Danny and Ben, peace and love, okay?
Peace and love. And they're making things up, so they're putting in their own ingredients. How radical is that, right?
Oh, blessed. Well done.
Things. And then we got Anna's kids, Jessie and Elfie as well. I hope I've said that. Jessie and Effie. Sorry, Effie. Do you want to say hi as well?
Hi, Effie. Peace and love. Bless.
Okay. And then we've actually got somebody called Dativa who's watching from Belize.
Hey, Dativa, yeah?
Yeah, Dativa's watching from Belize.
Yeah, man, blessed. Yeah? Thank you.
Yeah, and Dativa's saying, looks amazing, and don't burn the rice, Mia Marie.
No. And what I was going to do is show you a quick little thing, because,
go on then.
As we know, tomato can be slightly acidity, yeah? So what I'm going to do here is, again, a bit of brown sugar, and a bit of vinegar, and you don't need a lot, and basically just mix that in, and then just pour it into the tomato sauce. And as I say, I'm not going to, this is okay, usually I would actually whiz it, put in a food processor, and then probably even through a strainer as well. But as I say, I wanted more of a really natural sauce. You can see, okay?
Oh yeah,
okay. So again, it's like what we call like a concasse, yeah? The natural thickness is there. It's got flavor inside. And as I will add now, I'm just going to slice this, or chop it, some Scotch bonnet, and just add that in, which then gives it that piquant flavor, flavor to it. So it's basic.
Euten, we got 5 minutes left.
Okay.
It's like a Scotch bonnets are really, really hot chili peppers. Their heat rate is really high, isn't it? So we need to be.
They are one of the hottest chilies. Yeah. And I would say hottest, they're hot, but they've got flavor. And that's one of the sweet things about Scotch bonnets. They've got flavor.
Good.
Honestly, it's really nice because I haven't had it too much salt to it. And this is another thing. And look, as I say, I'm using sea salt, yeah?
Yeah.
It's on a small amount. It's got such amazing flavors to that, that honestly, I'm adding and I've used here some balsamic, really nice balsamic vinegar from Italy, with a bit of brown demerara sugar, which again, because it's unrefined, it's got all the beautiful molasses sort of flavors are in there, and it just adds to the dish. So yes.
Great. So 4:46. What I'm going to say to people is, in the chat box, Guy's put a link to Telling Our Stories, Finding Our Roots, which is a history project that we did from Devon Development Education. And in there, and actually, if you don't know the Global Centre website, please do go and have a look. There's lots of good information, and there are those connections that we started to speak about with sugar, and then other trading and other history stories that link in with our trade and our connections with the wider world. So please do go and have a look at that. Also, Sue has put in the chat box a smart survey link. So, we can't do these projects unless we get funding, basically. And, so we, and funding and funders rely on a bit of feedback. So please do spend a couple of minutes in the sort of 10-minute intervals, if you can, just doing that survey and feedback for us, just to support us and let us know what we did do well and what we didn't. Euten, your Instagram and your Fusion Cuisine link is in there. So if people want to hire people want to hire you for their hot rum passion
Paradise.
Passion food, passion paradise. I'm getting mine in a minute.
Aye.
And I just wanted to say that in the next session, you're going to be actually telling your story. So the thing that we haven't really had time to touch on right now is the fact that, you sadly are actually one of the stories of the hostile environment. We're not going to touch that now because we haven't got time, but people want to hear that. What I love about meeting you is how incredibly resilient you are. How incredibly resilient you are, and what you're willing to give us as a community. So thank you so much for that. So if people want to hear Euten's story, Dave is going to be in the next session, telling his story a little bit. So do you want to finish up? Do you want to have the last couple of minutes, and then we'll finish up about the food and whatever?
Well, you know what, I will just say thank you very much. And what I will try and do is, at some stage, be able to plate the food up so that you can also see it, because honestly, it is looking lovely. But I just want to say, DDE, Devon Development Education, I thank you for this look, giving me this opportunity. I've learned so much since I've met you guys, and it's a real pleasure. And I'll say, I'm a great believer in diversity and the human race. And as a black man, I'm black, I'm African, I'm also British, I am a human being, and that's all I want to be. I don't want, no tag, anything else. It's about us coming together as the human race and doing what is right. Time for us to unite. Look, we've had 2 world wars, Come on, it's time that things change now. Come on, it's about time, Thank you.
So much, Euten. Euten, there's lots of lovely thank yous and appreciations coming in the chat box. Well, we'll make sure we copy those so you can have a look at them.
Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And what we're
Pleasure.
going to do, guys, is
and I tell you this, hey, the rum punch, nice.
Passion
Yes.
Paradise. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
What we're going to do with this session is we're going to close this session. We've got a 10-minute interval. And, you know, obviously, guys, have a comfort break. Go and get another cup of tea. Make yourself a rum cocktail. And join us for the next session, which is with Dave Samuels. And that's actually some personal storytelling. So it's going to be really interesting. And in between, in those 10-minute intervals, we have actually got lots of interesting information. So, you know, please do stay and watch that as well if you'd like to.
Blessed. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. So see you guys in 10 minutes again at 5 o'clock for session 2. Bye.
Bye. Blessed. Ooh.
Euten, you can mute yourself, honey.
Thank you.